Good Monday morning. Glad to see you with me. Glad that you're here. Hope you had a great weekend. What an amazing service we had on Sunday, and I hope you were able to join us. If not, it's on our website. You can always go and grab it there and have church. Still, we love it when you're with us on Sunday mornings, but if for some reason you can't make it Sunday mornings, service is still available, and those services are online. Just a reminder, Sunday the 30th, we'll be here, Baptism Sunday. If for some reason you're holding up and waiting to sign up for baptism, don't. Let us know that you're going to be baptized. And for those who can, you should. Listen to me, you should be with us that Sunday. We can get into the mode where we get used to being home. We need community. We need one another. And this is a great opportunity for a lot of us to be able to be here. Bring your cars, bring your kids in cars. There'll be an FM station. You'll be able to just listen to it right on your radio. We'll also have speakers, so you can listen to it on speakers as well. So you can grab your lawn chairs and sit out if you're comfortable with that. You can sit in the comfort of your car, turn on that air conditioning, and come and join us as we have those that are going to be baptized on that Sunday. That'll be a great day. And then on the 6th of September, we have our service in the park and our church picnic. So that information's on the website, sccbranford.org, and you can get all that you need there. Get signed up. We need to know who's coming, and help us out with that as well. Appreciate it. Okay, I want to take a different tact here, and it kind of goes with what I'm saying here, because we, as Christ followers in America, especially, have affluence like the world has never known, and like 2/3 of the world today can't even imagine. The fact that you have a car or two cars, the fact that you live in a house, the fact that you walk up to your sink and you turn the spigot and clean, drinkable water comes out is unfathomable to 2/3 of the world today. The fact that your kids go to a school and have the ability to go to a school that's paid for and free is just unimaginable to so many people. The fact that we can claim unemployment, is just unbelievable. And yet, by and large, we are, and I don't want to offend you, but this has got to be said, we are the laziest Christians on the planet in America. We have everything, and yet we still have a lack of faith, and yet we still won't follow God wholeheartedly. Yet we still want other things more than we want God. And Jesus is confronted with a situation where a very rich young man comes to him and asks to be one of his followers. And the rich young ruler believes he's doing Jesus a favor, because he's going to lend credibility to Jesus' ministry. Like, okay, if I come on board and I give you some of my resources and my name is attached to your ministry, this is going to benefit you. It'd be like, some famous person, let's say Ashton Kutcher, just, came to the church, sat down in my office and said, Pastor Paul, I'm going to start attending your church. And I'm all in. I just want you to know I'm coming to your church. And when I come, other people are going to see it and they're going to want to come to the church as well. And that's kind of what's going on in this scripture in Luke chapter 18 and verse 22. Jesus listens to this rich young ruler's sales pitch, in a sense. The rich young ruler is sincere. He does want to be a follower of Christ. He's sincere in that he is willing to give to the ministry. But here's what Jesus says. And you think, from our standpoint, wow, okay, awesome, thank you. We're so glad to have you on board, and let's move forward. Jesus, that's not what he was here for. Jesus heard the rich young ruler's answer in verse 22 of Luke chapter 18, and he said, "There's still one thing you haven't done. Sell all your possessions, give the money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me." Now, Jesus doesn't say, sell your treasure, put it in my ministry. That's what so many of us would do, right? Go sell your possessions and give the money to my ministry, because that will help us get the word out. Jesus says, I don't want your money. I don't need your money. I own everything. It's all mine. I can have anything I want at the snap of a finger. I'm God. So take your money, because here's the problem. Do you have your stuff, or does your stuff have you? Well, let's put it to the test. Right? Is your stuff for the kingdom? Is your stuff for you? If it's for the kingdom, you'll give it up, you'll give it to the poor. See, I don't need it. Give it to the poor, and then come follow me. In verse 23, but when the man heard this, he became very sad, for he was very rich. So here's the deal. We're very rich, you and me. You go, no, Pastor, I don't have 2 dimes. No, we're very in debt. We're very overextended. But the bottom line is we're still attached to our stuff. And Jesus says, the litmus test is this. If you would be willing to give it all up, then you know you're my disciple. Then you know your heart's truly where it should be. If you could just give it up. Give it to the poor. Give it to those who don't have. Give it to those who lack. See, here we are, we're in this pandemic, and we're coming to a point, and I'm going to address this a little bit today. We're coming to a point where a lot of us could do things like be in church. There's a lot of us who could be in church, we just don't want to be in church now. There's a lot of us that could be doing things for others, we're using excuses not to do. Because there are people who are in need, there are people who need we need one another, but we choose, right now, we're choosing comfort over obedience. And I'm not saying everybody, but be honest with yourself right now. I had to do this today because it was in our 60-day quiet time challenge. I had to take quite a bit of time myself this morning. It's one of the reasons this is coming out a little bit later. Does my stuff have me? Does my comfort have me? Am I making every excuse? But the reality is I just like being comfortable. How many of us are just staying home because it's easier to watch church on TV than it is to come back and get involved and volunteer and be a blessing to others? Or am I just sitting home because it's easier? This is the wake-up call this morning, folks. This is the word of the Lord. Okay? This isn't Pastor Paul. Listen, I can keep preaching. It's not changing that much for me. But how much are we missing because we're not giving anything away? We have become so consumeristic in the church that I fear COVID has become our excuse to fully embrace it. I want. And now we're in a position, so many of us are in a position that we can just get. 80% of the church watches while 20% of the church works. That's most church data. 20% of the people do the work, 80% just enjoy the labors of 20%. Right now, it's much less than that. Churches need to reopen. Our church needs to reopen. We need to get back into the swing of things. We need to get our children back to church. That means we need to have children's programs running and nursery running, right? We need to start being in small groups. That means we need small group leaders. And that could be online and that could be in person, socially distancing. These things are definitely doable. Our kids are starting to go back to school in the next couple of weeks. That says that we can get our kids' programs back up and running, but we need you. Now, you go, this is just Pastor Paul giving us a guilt trip. No, it's really not. What I am saying is, have we gotten to a place where our comfort has us and we're not fully embracing what God has for all of us? And we can flesh this out in a lot of different ways as well. Our money, our time, our talent, right? Those are the places. How many of us have just stopped giving? Well, I'm home. The church will be fine. Church won't be fine. Okay. How many of us have stopped, sharing our faith? How many of us, right? How many of us just got comfortable being at home and being alone? That's Satan's greatest tactic. Isolation. If I can isolate them, I can pick them off. It's a lot harder to pick us off in community than it is by ourselves. And so, come on, Satan has got us isolated. How many of you're just overwhelmed? Fear, worry, doubt, anxiety. I can't get back. It just can't. The first step is always the toughest step. First step is always the toughest step. We had someone come back a couple of weeks ago to church, for instance, and she said, it was so hard to get back, but now that I'm back, this is exactly what I needed. She hasn't missed since. We've got the safety precautions here. We're all over that. You need to be, whatever this is, I'm using being back in church because that's like the most really significant thing right now. You need to be with us on October 30th and September 6th. You need to start making the effort to be back with God's people. You need to. It's important. You'll find the encouragement and you'll find the support, and you're going to find that you're not all alone. So don't let Satan win this out. So here we are. Okay, let me bring this back because I'm way over time. But I think this is important today. I feel very strongly about this. And I love you. I miss you. I miss community. Okay, but at the same time, we have people who are coming to church. Okay? So he walked away because he was very wealthy. He wouldn't give up. His stuff had him. What has you? Is it stuff? Is it literally materials, things you're afraid of losing in life? Not. Is it being isolated and you're just afraid to react? Is it fear? Is it fear that grips you? That hope, that encouragement. We're not talking about being unwise. Some of you need to stay home. Absolutely. But if you're like 30 years old, you don't need to, come on. Unless you have underlying conditions. Right? So let's work it out. Let's take those first steps. Let's show Satan that we're disciples of Jesus Christ. Fully devoted followers of Jesus. Whatever that means for you, you apply it. Lord, help us. Today's tough. Pastor Paul's being tough today, I know. But I love your church. Sometimes that's my job. So God, I just pray for those that I love so much, the sheep that you've given me to shepherd. I pray today that you would love on them and that they would take the steps, whatever it is for them, whatever you're speaking to their heart today. It's all of us. This is not something that does not challenge each one of us. We're all challenged by this. Help us to step out. Help us to be faithful in whatever area we need. Whatever has us, let us get control of it. I pray in Christ's name. Bless your people today. I pray today would be a day of joy. Today would be a day of peace. Today would be a day of progress in our relationship with you. In Christ's name. Amen. Thank you so much for a couple of moments of your time. I will see you tomorrow. Blessings.